Happy Thursday, everybody. Thank you so much for downloading or streaming the Be Our Guest podcast. Hope your week is going well. Today, we have the replay from Sunday night's live call-in show with Scotty G, and we had so many calls during this hour. At one point, we had 6 calls on the queue, so we got to them as quick as we could, and we talked about all kinds of topics, including a great review from Ian out in Pennsylvania for Takumi Thai over at Epcot. I know I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, but again, I'm Mike from the Midwest, so give me a break on that one. That's the exclusive Japanese restaurant in Epcot. She gives some great thoughts. Well, she talks about her sea urchin appetizer, but then it gets better after that. So it's an awesome review. So if you've ever been curious about this restaurant, you're going to get great reviews there. Scott and Brandon and a few other callers talk about character interactions at Walt Disney World. And we kind of came to the conclusion that characters at the resorts are amazing because you get a little bit more of an interaction rather than just a photo opportunity. We also just have a ton of other calls on a lot of topics. So if you want to have some fun Disney talk, you're going to get it for the next hour. So enjoy the show. Of course, today's podcast always brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel. We'd love to help you plan the next Walt Disney World, Disneyland, Disney Cruise Line, or Adventures by Disney vacation for no additional cost to you. Check out all the details right now over at themagicforless.com. Please also use our Amazon affiliate link when you shop online. That one extra click supports everything we do throughout the year. beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. And thank you sincerely to our Patreon supporters. You guys make all these shows possible. So again, thank you very much. You can become a Patreon supporter as well. It's just $5 a month, and it helps pay for all the bandwidth, the hosting, and our video support and all that stuff. And we really appreciate it. And as a thank you, you get a bonus show every week. It's called Mike in the Midwest. So coming over this week, patreon.com/Be Our Guest Podcast.
Ready to take a trip to the world? You found the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. This is where your memories come front and center on our podcast stage.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the BOGP Open Line for Sunday night, April 7th, 2024. I'm your host, Mike Rallman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com, but you can find me over in the clubhouse. That's at BeOurGuestPodcast.com/Discord. And we're going to have a good time over the next hour. It's you, me, and Scotty G. We're going to be taking your calls at 407-413-9395. That's 407-413-9395. House band jamming tonight here on a Sunday afternoon, heading up to Lansing, Michigan. Scotty G, what's going on?
Not much, Mike. What was that area code again? 407. And today's date is 407.
Oh
it's
my gosh.
Orlando Day.
Is it? Dude, you are on it. I had no
Central
clue.
Florida Day, baby.
It is.
And we should be there.
Well, why are we not?
Yeah, but happy Central Florida Day. Happy Sunday to you. The last time I was on the Be Our Guest podcast, I was having dinner at Be Our Guest, which was like, I thought was so funny. Like, that was fun, that call. Like, and you said the audio sounded good because I was so worried because it was so loud in there.
I was shocked. It sounded awesome. We need to do more on location calls. It was beautiful. It was because my dad was even.
I mean, if you want to send me on site, Mike, I'm happy to take any call.
Well, hey,
you
you can come sit right here in this Amazon.com chair, and I can go on location. So come on.
Yeah. Oh, an update for you. Not 100% locked in, but I'm going to be in. What would it be, like Western Illinois, like border Illinois, Missouri over Memorial Day weekend. So we should try to, like, if you're around, we should try to like meet up at least.
What, are you going to Jared's?
I am. Yeah.
Oh, so we totally got it. Oh, dude, I'm totally meeting up with you. When are you going there?
Well, we'll talk about it. Memorial Day weekend we're thinking about. Yeah.
Totally.
But I've come to your part. I've come to see you. We were talking about in the Discord.
We'll come over.
We'll come over. Schwartz at the City Museum. And
we'll come over. I mean, it's not very far. Alhambra's not very far because I know it's where he lives. So that's
so we should totally do it.
Oh man, I want you to see my new house, but we'll figure it out.
Yeah,
we'll figure it out.
I mean, if you're not, I mean, I can make
far.
that way over too. It's not that farther
Dude,
away.
You're so close. Okay, but we're here to take your calls though. We're not here to make plans for Memorial Day, but that's what we do.
But when you said that, I was like, oh, I could be actually in the Be Our Guest podcast studio taking a call.
And you know what? Hey, everybody, come on over for Memorial Day weekend. We'll just have a big old meetup at the BOGP studios. We'll have a good time. I have a deck. Let's go. We have a lake and a deck. You can't swim in it. You can't fish in it. We're going to have a good time. You know what? We have 3 calls on the board. Do you want me to take a call? Let's take a call.
I do have a character thing I want, because that was your Friday show. I do want to, at some point, I want to talk about character interaction.
We got to give Wesley R. Powell over on Instagram some tips for Riverside, because I have one about boat rights. But you know what? We have the calls lined up at 407-413-9395, and that is why we are here. People are paying good money. Not really.
And our good friend Troy, like great runner in Tampa area, he's going to Riverside too. So lots of questions about Riverside. So we'll get to that at some point too. But if you want to take the first call, Mike, let's jump into it.
I didn't even have the comments up. I am behind on the game. Karen is live here on YouTube. She's joining us from Maya Grill. I mean, as she leaves a comment, but let's take our first call. They're on the line from the 502.
Got a lot of thoughts about Maya Grill too.
Oh my gosh. I wish I was at Maya Grill, but let's take the call. Who's joining us? Hello.
Mike and Scott, it's Alex. How you doing tonight?
Alex, what's going on? Doing great.
So you two were actually two of the first people I thought of yesterday when I got a call from Disney, because Mike, I did a trip report with you a couple of months ago talking about some previous trips I'd taken to Caribbean Beach, and my wife and I have a trip scheduled for early May. It was just going to be a weekend trip where we were going to go back to Caribbean Beach. We like it so much with the Skyliner, but got a call yesterday afternoon from Disney Travel was the caller ID. So of course,
you got to make sure you answer that, right? Not to interrupt, Alex, but you can't let that go to voicemail. Well, you got to stop whatever you're doing when you get that phone call for sure.
It was funny. We were going to church at 5:00 was mass. It was 4:52 when they called me. So we were actually sitting in church, and I walked outside real quick. I make sure I took the call, and it's Disney Travel, and they asked me, we see you're coming, May 2nd to the 5th, staying at Caribbean Beach. What are you looking forward to about the trip and all that, yada yada yada, whatever. And I'm like, so I'm kind of just curious what the call is about. And they said, "Would you like to stay at Yacht Club?"
Yes.
What do I say to that?
You're like, if you're at church, you say amen.
I went and got my wife, and she said yes. So
I'd say amen if I was in church, and then
it would have been great if you were like, yeah, I'm really looking forward to Sebastian's Bistro, the Skyliner, hanging out at the pool at Caribbean Beach, and they're like, well, do you want to go to Yacht Club instead?
No, no, you don't even negotiate that one. You say yes, and please hit that confirmation button right now before you change your mind.
Yeah.
Before somebody else gets it.
So the reason I'm calling is, I know you guys have been pretty much everywhere down there, and actually we were supposed to stay at Yacht Club in 2020, and one of the trips that got canceled by COVID, and so I hadn't really done much research on it since, and it's only gonna have a couple of park days down there, but I really just wanted to get your thoughts from both of you on just kind of the lay of the land at Yacht Club, and what are some can't miss things that we need to see there.
Scotty G, take it.
I love Yacht Club. Out of the two, beach and Yacht Club resorts, I mean, they're very, very similar resorts, very laid out, exactly the same way almost. I prefer Yacht Club out of the two of them, and I don't know why that is. I don't know if it's because of like the floors, like it's like a weird thing, like the decor maybe too, like it just like is more Yacht Club, or the Beach Club is just kind of wild. I think it's kind of crazier with kids maybe. Like I don't know. It's just a weird theory in my head. But the obvious one, Alex, is that you can't miss Stormalon Bay, the greatest pool at Walt Disney World. That is a must. And if you like thrills, or if you like the slides at all, that slide is one of my all-time favorites, and I know Mike will agree with that as well.
The flying jib.
The flying jib. If you're an ice cream eater, you gotta stop by Beaches and Cream. Even if you don't have an ADR, just go up to the window. That window is awesome. Mm-hmm. You can take it out. You can take it out to the pool, or maybe like back to your room, even if you want to. Well, it might be pretty hot, right? So it might melt by the time you get back to your room. So I recommend eating it right away. But those are a couple that come right off the bat, and just I love the transportation. Like I don't know what your park. You said like the 2nd through the 5th, so I don't know if you're going to all the parks or whatnot. But a nice easy stroll over to International Gateway is fantastic from there. So I like to take advantage of like my time at Epcot and Hollywood Studios. And some may say it's longer, but it's more enjoyable. I love taking the friendship boats especially the Hollywood Studios. I know you can walk there, but there's something so relaxing about being on that friendship boat, I think, to make your way to the studios.
Mike, what do you you do this all the time, and you're helping people book trips all the time? What, I asked them when they called me, was it a capacity issue, and they said it wasn't. In terms of the having Caribbean Beach booked, what from your experience, or kind of why would they call and ask if we wanted to change resorts and then give us a deluxe and we'd book the moderate? Any thoughts on that? Why that would happen?
You're going in May?
Yeah.
I can tell you why. You want
Why
to
is
know?
that?
You want to know why?
Sure.
Cheerleaders.
Okay.
Cheerleading Worlds and Summit happen in May, and the cheerleaders all stay in the values and the moderates, and they're trying to keep the cheerleaders all together. And so they need more rooms at one of the moderates. And so what happened is they need more rooms over at Caribbean Beach to keep a team there. And so they're trying to block out some rooms, and they're bumping you up. So you should be thanking your lucky stars for bows and palms.
How will that impact like the parks? Because I like to look at like the touring plans, crowd calendars, and it looked like, I know those numbers can be hit or miss and all that. I mean, it can always feel crowded when it says it's a 5 or a 6, but it seemed like the crowd levels weren't projected to be very high there. How does that impact like what's going to actually be like in the parks during those dates?
So the cheerleaders typically now can only talk about, now here's the good news is these competitions that happen in May are these are the end of the year competitions. So these are the finals, and Worlds is the top cheerleaders like of all. I mean, they are and Summit is kind of they're not the top, but they're this is what Mallory's all-star cheer like would go to. So it's kind of like the intermediate ending season. So at Mallory's gym, which is just kind of like an average gym, but a good gym here in St. Louis, they were not allowed to go to the theme parks until they were eliminated from the competition, no matter what. Okay. They couldn't even go at night until they got eliminated from the competition. So it's a business trip for them. And a lot of the gyms are like that. So you won't see them until towards like the end of the weekend of that competition. So usually it's like, I don't know when your trip is, but it would be like the Friday is the girls start getting eliminated, and the competitions usually start like on a Thursday, Friday, but you will see them, but the competitions obviously happen during the day and wind up in the evening. So you'll see them more in the evening, but in the day, you won't see them as much. It's kind of like a race weekend, like a Run Disney race weekend. You don't see the runners in the parks. Well, it's kind of actually the reverse, because the runners aren't in the parks in the evenings because they're going to bed early because they got to get up early in the morning. But you just like, it doesn't have bottom line is it doesn't have a huge impact on your park time until like the last, like Sunday when everybody's done, even though like because the finals doesn't have as many teams, right? Because most teams are eliminated. It's just the finals. So they're the only ones over at ESPN. Everybody else has been eliminated, goes to the parks. But building up, most people are at ESPN. So bottom line is it doesn't have a huge impact on the parks at all.
Yeah, I mean, we're not getting in until like later Thursday, and then we're leaving Sunday morning, so it's just a pretty quick trip. So we may miss the bulk of
and you probably won't see them at yacht. You won't see them at Yacht Club because they stay at the values and the moderates, mostly the values.
Gotcha. Yeah. Well, I guess that was it was a good phone call to get on a Saturday afternoon, and a nice little I guess as I told you in the email when I shot you an email yesterday, I guess the magic. I've never had that happen before.
That's a good call.
When you can get a deluxe stay for a moderate price, I guess you take it, right?
Dude, take it and don't count on it happening again, but be glad that it did. You got lucky. It's good stuff.
Sir.
And Lisa in the chat is asking about the pools being closed. I walked through there last week and the yacht club was open. I haven't heard about a refurb, so I think it'll be fine with the pools.
Yeah.
It's in 2025. The refurb, I think,
starts January.
It's in January and goes through June 2025.
Yeah. And Caribbean Beach's feature pool, just came out of its refurb last week. It's back open. So it just reopened last week.
Because we're going there June, so for a longer trip with the whole family. So looking forward to that too. So
rock on. You're gonna have a good time, man. You got lucky. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah. Well, thanks, guys. Always enjoy the Sunday night chats between you two guys, and I'll hang up and let somebody else get on here and keep listening. Thanks
Hey,
as always for your time.
hey,
Appreciate it.
you go get a captain's hat or something and be like, Thurston Howell and live it up while you're over there.
That's the only way to do it.
Will do.
All right, we'll see you, buddy. Thanks, Alex.
Thanks, gentlemen. Take
see
care.
Bye bye. All right, we got 4 calls coming in all at the same time here, so let's grab one that's been the longest. All right, and Scott, I'll get to you. I promise, man. We got 4 calls on the board. Hey, who's our next caller? Who's joining us?
Mike, it's Thomas. How you doing?
Hey, Thomas, what's going on, buddy?
Yeah, Thomas from Buffalo, Virginia, a suburb of Cleveland.
And the star of last week's shows, which everybody is giving rave reviews, and we appreciate you so much for lending your talents.
Oh no, I'm sure it wasn't me. Don't take the credit away from you and Ricky.
No, it was great. Man, I'm telling you what, the character show Friday was amazing. Scott's actually trying to get in on it, but because of all the calls, he can't. So
I know. I was bummed I missed the character show. I love characters and I have so many great interactions I can't even talk about.
I'll tell you what, Scott. Next year I'll bid and I will win the show again. Not I don't have a speaker to win, so I'll have more money.
I'm still recovering from the speaker. It's all good. That's awesome.
I figured that's why you weren't in on Monday.
He was showing the speaker off before he recorded, Scott. I didn't tell you.
Oh, that's so good. I love it.
What's up, Thomas?
No, I just wanted to say hi to Scott. Sorry I missed you, Scott, but I'm glad you're okay, Mike. That's
I appreciate it. Yeah, we're good. We actually just an hour ago had tornado warnings again, but about an hour east of us in Illinois. So it's beautiful here tonight. So yeah, we got lucky. When we were recording the shows last week, there were tornado warnings like right over us. And so we got to cut the show short.
Wouldn't have loved to have been there.
What's that?
I said I would have loved to have been there, and I was actually surprised Mike didn't text me, but I wouldn't have been able to do it anyway. I think he was just trying to give me a break because I just came back from a trip.
Yes.
But I actually had an appointment on Monday night too that I didn't even tell Mike about, so it wouldn't even worked out anyway. So glad that you could be there though to fill in for me and Pam, because like I'd still need to listen, but I'm with Mike. A lot of great feedback on the Discord on that episode. So great job, Thomas. Awesome job.
Oh, okay. That's good. That makes me happy. I was a little worried. I was nervous. So, but I'm just happy that I was able to help out. And you guys do all the hard work, so you're the real heroes.
I wouldn't say that.
Honestly, you're the real hero for that donation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like helping families out that are in need. Like you're the hero, Thomas, for those generous donations for sure.
I appreciate that, but you do all the hard work, so you guys should take the credit where the credit's due. But
hey, we all do this together.
I appreciate it.
Community effort here with the show. We appreciate it. We're all in this together.
Yeah. So I'm just glad I was glad I was a part of it. And, my wife didn't give me too much of a hard time, but she said I shouldn't have worn the orange bird. And I said, obviously you don't understand.
What? I tell her I said you should have. I mean, he had the orange bird on the shoulder there, Scott. Scott, you'd approve of that. Scott has all the shoulder animals.
We are all about the orange bird in the garden house.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
and you got to have a prop when you record on the podcast. Like it makes it better when you have like some kind of prop with you. So I love it. You had the speaker and the orange bird.
Yes,
you had it all going on.
100%.
Like I said, go big or go home. So.
Yes.
But I'll let you guys go. I'm sure you have a bunch of callers that want to talk to you, and I had my 15 minutes of fame. So, you guys have a good night. And I'll keep watching on Facebook.
All right, Thomas, you have a good one. Thanks again for coming on the show.
Calling in too. We love talking to you. So.
All right, we'll talk to you later, Thomas. All right, bye-bye.
Take care, guys.
Take care. Bye-bye. All right, still got 4 more calls on the board. So let's get
Holy cow.
I know it's a crazy night.
Some nights we have 0.
I know. Sometimes we're begging, but we have our next call right now. Hey, who's joining us?
Hey, Mike and Scott. It's Jody.
Jody, what's going? So we're not
Jody with an I, Jody with an IE. Like how do you spell the first name?
The E's in parentheses sometimes. We're not at Flying Fish like I think you were about 1 week ago right now.
We were. I'm actually calling to give a gratitude shout out. We just came back from a trip, and as you know, we got to see Scotty and family, Elizabeth and Emily. We got to see Beth. We got to see Wade and Shelley from Nebraska. We got to see Derry and her family. We got to see Cheryl from Switzerland and her son. And none of that would have been possible without this podcast and the running community. And I just wanted to give a shout out and say thank you, because we have so many amazing friends now because of this. And it made our Walt Disney World trip that much better because we could spend time with really fantastic people. So I'm just calling to say thank you.
That is so sweet, but it also kind of breaks my heart because all these people got to get together, except I was stuck in St. Louis, like dodging tornadoes, and you guys are probably eating at Flying Fish and having all these good times down in Florida without me. I mean, Cheryl's all the way from Switzerland. I mean, come on now. Like, she's from another continent over there having fun. No, that is super sweet. I think about this all the time. Like, I think I talked about this about a month ago. I've started this project here in the studio, which the only thing I have so far is the digital frame, which I love. And I've loaded it down with 2,500 pictures so far of just basically all the selfies I've taken over the years. 16 years of doing the shows, like in the Run Disney corrals, just people I've run into in the parks that have said, "Hey, Mike, can we get a picture?" Like at the Indie Disney meets, at, podcast cruises, anything we've done that has anything to do with the show. And while I'm in this studio, I'm just seeing friends that I've got to meet because of the show. And it internally makes me grateful, just like you say, because my world has expanded so much because of the podcast, just because we get to talk about this, we get to talk about Disney, and it's because of people supporting us like this. And I agree with you, Jody. It's awesome. We hear about, you guys with Disney with the ducks and all that stuff. So it goes both ways. We have all that, it's just great that we can all kind of be in this together and share a passion for something that's, it's just fun. Disney, you can't take it too seriously. It's just a good time.
But that was well said. That was so great. Fun. But I know Jody wants to say, but I got to tell you something though. So like our trip, we were originally coming home, I think like Saturday morning or something. And Jody's family was coming down Saturday morning, or like, maybe we'll see you at the airport or something. But we're like, how about we just like do one better? So they added a night to come at the beginning of the trip on Friday. Then we added a night to leave home Sunday, so that we could be able to spend a day together. We actually got to spend 2 nights together too, because they were staying at the Grand Floridian and we had dinner there. So we got to go to Enchanted Rose. We met this professional golfer who was our server. Shout out to Patrick, Mike, Mark. I hope you're tearing it up on the golf course. But it's just great when you like things work out like that too. Like when we didn't even know each other were going, and it was just by chance we found out our spring breaks kind of overlapped a little, and we were able to make it happen. That was so awesome for the trip.
It is.
It was. And the fact that my son from Cincinnati is playing, met this kid from Switzerland, and they went out and played basketball together in the pouring rain. That's what they chose to do when they were at Walt Disney World. Like, it wasn't about, it was about some of the rides, but it wasn't about all that. I mean, it was those little things, hanging out on the patio with Scott and his family and Beth, and playing basketball in the rain with the 13-year-old boys. Like there were just so many great memories. And quite frankly, I would have never met these people had it not been for this podcast and for the Lizard. So I just wanted to call and say thank you, because it really has enhanced our life and our family and meeting all these other awesome people. So, without it, we wouldn't have met them all. So thank you.
Well, Jody, my heart's full hearing that, because again, if you wouldn't take the time to listen to our show, we'd have nothing. I mean, we'd absolutely have nothing. It'd just be talking into a spare bedroom here in my house. So, and you guys are so kind, and it's awesome. And, it's a good story because it ended well with your son and, playing basketball out there in the rain, because Lord knows when we're his age.
Pouring rain.
Well, I mean, Scott and I were both his age too, and we're stupid kids like that too. But I mean, we survived and did dumb stuff. So, and that's how you make memories.
Yeah.
When I heard that, I was like, I would have done that. I mean, I totally would have done that. Scott would have too. So good stuff.
Yeah. So before I go, I just want to say Tuesday is registration day for all of us who are trying to get into marathon weekend. And best of luck to everyone. And if you have not read Joe's post, please go read it, because he gives fantastic tips on how to register, because marathon weekend is really, in my opinion, where kind of our Lizard group comes together. Yes. and our friendships just solidify and grow and blossom, and it's just such a fantastic weekend. So if you're thinking about it, please register, come to the events, meet people, go to the meetups. Everybody is great, and it's just been life changing for us. And I hope everybody gets in on Tuesday, and all the best for registration, because I know it's a little nerve wracking.
A little? It's a lot. But hey, we've been talking today over in the Clubhouse, which is our Discord server at brguestpodcast.com/Discord. But we're going to all hang out there because there's a Run Disney Corrals little section.
Channel.
And channel. Thank you. I never know what to call those things. Channel. That's exactly what it's called. And we're going to kind of give real live updates, I guess, to our, oh my gosh, my queue time, just kind of like a support group as we wait to not refresh, and all that good stuff. You just gave me anxiety again. They're dropping free dining and a registration on the same day. Disney, what are you doing? Come on now. But at least
that's not nice.
Well, it's a free, it's a Disney Visa offer, and it's not a very big one. So at least it's not a big one. So thank God. Because otherwise I'd be in the hospital. But we'll be okay.
Well, I will let you guys go. I know other people want to call, and I just wanted to call and give that little feedback and just say thanks, and good luck to everyone on Tuesday. And we'll talk to you all soon.
Yes, and tell the family we said hello. And next time I'm going to try to be there because everybody else is having fun.
You were definitely missed. That's for certain.
Somebody's got to man the fort. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can't all be there. Somebody's got to stay at the helm. No, Jody, I appreciate you. Tell everybody I said hello.
All right. Bye, guys.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Thanks for the call, Jody. That was so nice. Sweet. And she's so right. Like, I don't want to get all gushy on here, but she's 100% right. Like, my favorite people, it's funny. My coworkers, I was like, because we're talking about being empty nesters within the next couple of years, because Emily's going to be, it's going to be weird, right? Because we've always had a kid in the house.
We've been talking about
and my coworkers like, oh, you'll be fine. You have so many friends. I'm like, yeah, all my friends don't live here.
That's what Pam and I talk about that all the time. Yeah. I know. You can't.
I just can't be like, hey, Jody and Tim, let's go out, or whoever. It just doesn't. You can't do that on a Tuesday night. Or
we have the same conversations all the time. I have great friend, my best friend. But I'm like, dude, he lives in Michigan. It's like, dude,
exactly. You and I, I can't just be like, hey, Mike, let's go hang out. I mean, we can FaceTime and do something virtual, but it's not the same.
The dude's making an old fashioned out of cinnamon toast crunch, but I can't taste it because he's 450 miles away. Yeah. Anyway, we got our next call. Hey, who's joining us?
Hey, Mike and Scott, this is Ian. How are you guys doing?
Ian, sorry we had to put you through that, but my man made an old-fashioned out of a box of cereal cinnamon toast crunch this week.
I was going to bring that up.
Okay, good. Okay, good. Okay, good.
Good segue, I guess.
Into making old-fashioned. My husband loves old-fashions now, and I'm going to have to – I saw he made that on Facebook. I'm going to have to show him. I'm not sure he'd be into that, but – it looked interesting, but he had a really good old fashioned actually a couple of days ago at La Cava de Tequila, believe it or not. But I don't know about the cinnamon toast crunch.
Yeah, the cinnamon toast crunch was weird. So shout out to our friend TJ in Chicago. He sent it to. He found this reel. We probably have all seen it on Instagram at some point. This guy making recipes or whatever. This cinnamon toast crunch bourbon that he made into an old fashioned. And it was ironically TJ sent it to me. I had a lot of extra bourbon, thanks to Joe, who got me some Buffalo Trace out of Disneyland. And I had a full box of Cinnamon Toast Crunch unopened. I'm like, you know what? I'm working at home today. Let's get this thing started. I'll infuse it all day, and then it'll be like a late night little cocktail. And I will say it was okay. With cocktails, it's trial and error, right? There was a lot of error. It was a learning process. And I know if I do it again, I can definitely make it better. I think I had to let it sit a little bit longer. I think I was just too excited that I wanted to get into it, so I got to be more patient with this. And then, I mean, I don't want to go down this rabbit hole, but ironically enough, it influenced Jared to make some bacon bourbon over the weekend too. And his looks really great. So a lot of us are doing some experimenting this weekend with our bourbon cocktails this weekend. It's just kind of funny, I think.
So Ian, real quick, the background on this, okay, so during the day I'm walking on the treadmill, on my lunch break, right? Okay. So, and I get no context with this. My man sends me these 3 pictures of him, with a picture of this big mason jar full of, I can't tell what it is. Graham cracker, cinnamon toast. I finally figured out it's cinnamon toast crunch.
I saw the picture of that.
Right. And then I see a video of him pouring a whole bottle of bourbon in with this cereal. And he's been, okay. And it's in the middle of the day, I'm like, I'm like, this cat's been on vacation for like a month, and now it's like in the middle of the day, and it's like he's been back from vacation for like 2 days, and it's like noon. Aren't you supposed to be at work, and you're making this big old drink? And I'm thinking, because I thought he was gonna drink it right now. I'm like, he's gonna be. This thing is. It's like a gallon. I'm like, what is he? Because I don't know how this stuff works. I didn't know he was like simmering it or whatever. I'm like, I was about ready to call like 911 on him or something. I was like, this is crazy. I don't know what that is, but dude, somebody help Scott.
Well, Scott, maybe Mike can crush up like some Taco Bell tortilla chips and make a Taco Bell inspired.
A chili cheese burrito old fashioned or something. Yeah, totally.
There you go, Mike. If there's a will, there's a way. You can make it happen.
That might be good.
Anyway, so Ian, you going through the you gonna go through the ringer on Tuesday, or what's the plan?
Oh yeah, you know what? I actually really loved my dopey experience. I don't know if I can recreate it, but I'm going to try. So I'm going to throw my hat in the ring, and we'll see what happens. But I'm just getting nervous just hearing you talk about it. So
seriously,
I don't know. I usually go for a run in the morning, but I'm going to need to be back by 9 a.m. so I can just log on and get into that queue.
I know see, I should give a disclaimer. I'm already registered for the dopey through a charity, so I'm in. So I am not stressed about that. But
okay, you're not. And then what's Scott going to do?
I don't know. I haven't asked.
I'm passing.
Oh no.
I'm like somewhat retired from Run Disney. I need a break from Run Disney. 2025 is a crazy year. Like, I got a daughter that's graduating high school that year. Just kind of want to do what she wants, there's gonna be a lot of activity and stuff. It's just gonna kind of be a crazy year for her. So I am passing. But I mean, you never know though. Like, I've passed before, and I showed up on a Friday night and ran the half the next day. So you just never know.
So there's hope still.
Yes, there's.
It doesn't mean you can't go. It doesn't mean you can't show up and go down to the races. Go down for the weekend.
True.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. So good luck. Good luck to everybody. But hey, the reason why I called, I don't want to keep you guys on the phone too long, but a few weeks ago, do you remember when I called in and I was asking about which Japanese restaurant we should go to in Epcot?
Yes.
Correct.
I don't know if you remember that call. So we ended up, so there's two. There's one that they're both somewhat new. There's Takumi, which is the really upscale signature experience, and then there's the Shiki-sai, which is I think it used to be where it was called Tokyo Dining, and it's a sushi restaurant, so they just kind of renamed it and refurbished it. So we ended up going with Takumi, which you probably, if you haven't looked for it or been there, you would just walk by and not notice it, but it's like kind of on the bottom level, and it's just kind of tucked away. So we ended up going there, and it's basically you pay $250 if you want the meat base or the fish base, and then it's $150 for the plant based. So we saved up our Disney Visa, Chase Visa reward points, and we used that. So we decided to splurge a little bit.
That's a splurge. So what did you think of it? Did you think it was worth it?
I do think it was. I do. I know when I called, it's like Ricky's dog.
I was gonna say, I was wondering if that was your stomach or if that was your dog growling or something. I was like, is it dinner time?
I ate so much in Disney World this weekend. It should not be my stomach because I was eating the whole time. So I did really like it, but I have to say, you have to have your mind open that it's going to be some unique tastes. And so it's several different courses, and there's one of them that you get to choose. But the first course is, it comes out as 5 appetizers, and they're all really different. And I don't know if you remember me saying that one of them was going to be sea urchin. Wow. And so I was most worried about that. And it comes in like a little shot glass, and it looks a little murky and kind of yellow. Oh. So I was going to try to do it like a shot, but it wasn't going down really. So when I picked it up with my chopsticks, it kind of had this brown stringy seaweed. So I think the reason why I didn't like that was because more of the visual of it rather than the taste. Because I think the taste was actually okay.
Hang on. And you're paying $250 for what you just described.
Right. Right.
Okay, I'm having a hard time already.
It didn't include the wine pairing or that my husband got the sake pairing. So, right, exactly. So I'm paying $250 for the sea urchin. But that was kind of the only thing that I was really like, I didn't like that part. But my husband liked everything. So that was just the first course. It kind of comes out with these 5 little appetizers that the chef selects. But everything else was so good. But you have to like sushi if you get the plant-based has vegetable sushi, let's say. But the one we went with had regular sushi. One of the courses was this fried lobster tempura, which was excellent. And then one of the courses you could choose. So you could choose like duck breast, you could choose Wagyu steak, and then there was also a fish you could choose. So we went with the Wagyu, which was amazing.
See now you're talking my language. Now it's getting better. Now you're bringing me back. I'm coming back around. Right. Now 250, I don't know, but you're getting me, at least I'm in the ballpark now. I'm peeking through the gates. Okay.
Yeah. The Wagyu was excellent. It was the best steak I've ever had. So that and the lobster were my two favorite. But then the last course is dessert. So that's also very unique. And it comes with some green tea. So they do this whole tea ceremony, which is really cool. But the whole experience, it takes about 2.5 hours. And the service is just like nothing. Probably Victoria and Albert's would be similar, but it's just very personalized and unlike anything you would get anywhere else at Disney or anywhere else, period. So it's just a very signature upscale experience. It was just really, really cool.
It sounds very
great.
It sounds like you said, like a Victoria and Albert's experience, or like possibly like a Remy or an Entaché on like the Disney Wish, kind of like one of those, extremely upscale, upgraded experiences.
Exactly. And
inside a theme park of all places.
Yeah,
so that's what's crazy.
Inside Epcot.
You would never even know you're inside a theme park. And it's kind of weird because there's really no windows in there either. There's a lot of different rooms, and each room has a theme. Or I guess there's 5 rooms, and there's like a paper room, and there's a stone room, and water room. We were in the wood room. So it's very simple theming, but it's really relaxing. And what we were most surprised about, though, was it's a very adult experience. And like Victoria and Albert's, I think the age limit's like 10 or maybe 8 or 10. But we saw several kids like right around that age, right around 9 or 10, that were in there. We were just surprised because, number one, the price, but also it's such I can't imagine my kids going in there and eating sea urchin or.
No kidding. My kids eat chicken nuggets.
A lot of sushi.
Still, like she's 27 and she eats chicken nuggets. Like she goes to Chick-fil-A, she takes the bun. Paige came home and she still takes the bun off her chicken sandwich. I mean, she's 26 years old.
This would not be for Paige or Mallory or Pam. Yeah, they would not. You wouldn't get the value out of it.
I could not pay them $250 to go there. Yeah, totally.
No. Exactly. But I think, it might be something like I could see, Scott, you being intrigued with the experience and trying.
I'm very intrigued by it.
If you eat sushi.
I would try. I love sushi. Yeah, I've thought about this. I don't know anyone follows Tom Bricker, but he did a great post on this a couple of years ago, and he absolutely loved it. So my interest has always kind of been there, and hearing your review, Ian, has me even more psyched for it. I just don't know if I Well, to go ahead.
I was just gonna say, when Tom Bricker went there, it was I want to say after COVID when they brought it back, because it closed down for a while. But when they brought it back, it became kind of that prefix menu. And before that, it was more a la carte when he went. So I did read his review and he loved it. But the experience has changed a little bit just because now you're at that set price, and they really don't substitute off that menu. So it's slightly different from when he was there.
Gotcha. And I wish they wouldn't do the I mean, that's a whole other topic, but you see that coming up a lot at Walt Disney World these days. And I mean, we had a California Grill reservation booked for our second to last night in this last trip. Y'all know that's like my favorite restaurant, has been since our first trip when we went there. And we canceled last minute because we're like, I just don't want to deal with that prefix menu. It's not that good to me, you know? So we went to Narcoossee's, which is like, I mean, you can't go wrong with that. So it was a great game time decision, but like, I wish we were seeing less of that now, but it seems like we're seeing more.
I agree. So, but you know, if you wanted to splurge, or if you are like us, like I saved those dollars, those reward dollars on my Disney Visa. And so if you want, like, if we ever want to do like a tour or a special meal, I'll save it and splurge using that. So just like an idea, if you ever wanted something fun for a celebration, I think it's a cool experience, like, to do one time.
And that's a great use of those
review.
dollars,
I feel like we never hear about that restaurant on the show. So
actually, I hate to keep plugging the clubhouse there, the Discord channel, but we had a discussion over there just yesterday about that because somebody was asking, because nobody ever talks about that location. It's kind of like a little hidden place in Epcot over in Japan.
It is.
And they're like, nobody ever talks about it, you know, but it's expensive, and I want to make sure that if I'm going to go there, that, you know, I get my money's worth. And so a few people had, you know, were in there, they'd gone there and they gave the reviews, and it was very similar to what you said.
And what's crazy about that, like, if you're not an annual pass holder, like, this is where my mind thinks sometimes, like, you're paying whatever that was for that ticket.
Yeah, that's
to
true.
have like a $250 dinner. It's just crazy.
Because of how long the experience is, right? Because I mean, think about how long you're going to be. You're not going to experience Epcot. You're going to be in that restaurant for a good 3 hours.
So I feel like it's almost. I mean, it's almost made for like annual pass holders.
Really, it is.
That restaurant almost.
I do have an annual pass, and they give, I think it's a 10% discount. So I mean, for two people,
that's good too.
You know, it was like $50 off. But you just have to think of it as, like Mike said, you're in there for so long, so they're not rushing you out. And the people that are in there, they're all from Japan, and so they will give you like the history of Japan, or, you know, some of their cultures or customs, or why they eat certain things. And so that's all just, it's really cool. It's not something you're going to do every trip, but if there's something you're just like, I want to do something totally different. Because we kind of get in our rut of, we always want to go to Via Napoli, right?
Same.
But or go to Ohana. But if you want something that's like, hey, we want to do something totally different this trip, I think it's a really good option if you like sushi. And my husband loves sushi, and he said it's the best he's ever had. And then last night we were just in Disney Springs. We were in Disney Springs, so we weren't that hungry, but we wanted to eat something. So we went to Morimoto's and just ate at like the lounge area and got a few pieces of sushi, and that was also really good. But he still said he thought Takumi Te's was better.
This is such good information, though, because the more of this information we get out there, and it's so current, this is going to help so many people that are going down this summer and this spring. This is good stuff.
Yeah. So if anybody's kind of on the fence about it, I'd say definitely try it. You know, maybe you'd like the sea urchin better than I did, but I just think it's fun to try things that are not, and, you know, that you would never normally eat.
Well, especially for like a typical American. I mean, what are the chances? I mean, you may like it.
Not sea urchin.
I mean, because I laugh at it, but I mean, you know, I've never tried it. If I gave it a shot, I mean, you know, I'm picturing something in my head from Missouri, right? I mean, I've never encountered trying to eat a sea urchin, but I might. I mean, I might try it. I might gag, but I might try. I don't know. Who knows?
I have to admit, I did gag a little.
We're gonna see the reservation.
I was like, oh gosh, that was probably like a $10 gulp of wine that I just had to get that down.
Go ahead, Scott.
We're gonna see the reservation capacity increase by like 40 to 50% because of this call. And then Ian's gonna be like an official influencer now, where Disney's even giving her a kickback on it.
That's right. So I just wanted to share that because I did call, and I promised you I'd call back and let you know how it went. So that is my experience, and so hopefully one of you guys gets to try it.
Here's good news, Ian. Over on Instagram, Loken Quay says sea urchin is the butter of the sea. It's delicious.
There you go. I think the sea urchin was good, actually. It was the sea part that was the hard to get down. So yes, I think the sea urchin part was good.
I'd imagine it's probably an acquired taste. Maybe a
Yeah.
little bit.
Yeah.
Possibly. Maybe if you just didn't tell me it was a sea urchin, that might help too. It's something else. Hey, great call though, because the more we can have those unique experiences and some reviews of that stuff, it's going to help folks. And like you say, the more information out there, the better. We love it. And thanks to Loken Quay over there on Instagram. That's a great comment. All right, hey, have a great week, and don't be a stranger. And good luck on Tuesday, because I need to see you out there in January.
And I want to remind everybody to wear their eclipse glasses tomorrow. So.
Oh, absolutely. I've been on my wife and my daughter. I've told my wife, put yours, because Dr. Kai sent me ours. And I told my daughter, she's like, well, they're going to give them to us at school. I'm like, you go to a public school, they're going to be cheap ones. Take the ones Dr. Kai sent you. He's an eye doctor. Those are going to be, I promise you, those will keep your eyes safe. She's like, no, they'll give them to us at school. I'm like, no. Wear these. And then Pam, she's like, I'll put them in my purse in the morning. I'm like, I see you every morning. You're always like running 1 million miles an hour on a Monday morning. Do it now. So yeah,
oh my gosh.
Good tip.
Have a half day. The school district's worried the kids are going to look in the sky when they're coming home in the bus. So they gave them a half day, which is kind of funny. But
yeah, but my wife she said, make sure Riley doesn't look at the eclipse. I'm like,
I know.
I'm like, the sun's up there every single day of her life. I mean, the dogs have lived for thousands of years. There's been eclipses. I think she's going to be okay.
I saw an article. It was like, hey, what to do with your dogs during the eclipse?
I think she was joking, but I'm like, please tell me you're joking, because she's an inside dog. She's not even going to be outside probably. Oh my God.
All right.
I can't take it.
Guys, it was great talking to you.
See you, Ian. Have a good week.
All
right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, Scotty G. I think we've cleared the board. 474139395. You want to give us a call, but go ahead. Character encounter.
Oh, so I missed Friday's episode, which was best character interaction. And it was funny because last Friday I had quite possibly the best character interaction we had. So we're at the Barcelona Lounge at not the Contemporary, Coronado.
Yep.
Just having, we just got done doing the Keys to the Kingdom tour. We're going to go to Narcoossee's later. So we're just hanging out, having a couple cocktails. Beth is with us, and we decided to play some cards. So we're playing cards. We're playing hearts. We're kind of like in this table kind of tucked in the corner. And there's like a cast member door to our left, and we're just playing cards, laughing, have a good time. And all of a sudden you hear like, you hear this crazy like loud bang, like it's like really loud. And like I'm looking around, I don't see anything. I'm thinking someone's going to come out of this cast member door, and I'm just waiting for it. I'm like, oh, nothing happens. So we go back to playing cards and whatnot. Then you hear it again, like I'm like, what is going on? Like, just come out of that door. Like, why are you knocking on this door? And I'm just like looking around, like, what is that? And I look up. And because like when you enter Coronado, like the tower, there's like that, that big atrium. Yep. You can like kind of look down over the glass, like on the Barcelona Lounge. And there's my good buddy Dale just looking down at us. And like he's the one that's banging. He's banging on the glass mic, trying to get our attention while we're playing cards. And so I start waving. I'm like, hey, Dale, hope you're having a good time. We're just playing some cards here. And he starts like giving like finger symbols. Like 3 and 3 is 6, and then he starts like drawing this heart, so he makes like a 6 of hearts, and Beth's back is to him, and sure enough she has like the 6 of hearts in her hand. Like, so he's like relaying me her cards, like, which I thought was just hilarious. So this went on for like a couple minutes. There's people over there wanting to get their photo with him, so we keep playing, we're laughing, and then all of a sudden I hear like do again, like, and he's like, he's got a piece of paper this time, and he writes out like 10 of clubs. Like he's just feeding me all the cards they're holding. So like, I think it's hilarious. So I run upstairs and like I give him a 5. Like I did a selfie with him. I'm like, you're awesome. Thanks for giving me all the cards. I go back down, and then this is just all Dale wants to do now. So like,
are you sure this isn't Shohei Ohtani?
Yeah. Right? I know. He's got a little cheating going on here. So he just doesn't stop, Mike. Dale just keeps feeding me all the cards. I don't know how he could see them.
That's what I'm saying.
But every time, because like Liz's back was to him too, so he started rattling off like all the cards to me, and like I am just cracking up. And I'm not kidding you. This went on for like 10 to 15 minutes. Not even an exaggeration, because I have a photo from the first time.
I saw the picture.
Like,
I saw your picture.
Like when he was looking down at us, I took a photo, and then we all went up and took the cards with us because we thought it was hilarious, and took another photo. That it's like a 15-minute gap from that first picture to the last one, and he was doing it the whole time. Like, he didn't care about any other guests coming in there to get a photo with him. All he cared about was like playing the game with us. It was the funniest interaction I've ever had. It was just beauty. Like, I know Daisy and Chip were up there too. Like, he must have just been sending them all off to them. Like, all he wanted to do was play in our card game, and like the way he was like cheating and like relaying the card information was one of the funniest interactions I ever had. And it was in a hotel. Like, it wasn't even at a theme park or anything. It was just in the lobby of our resort. Like, it was so cool.
And I think that's the cool thing is I think that the characters are given more leeway when they're at the resorts. Obviously they are than they are in the theme parks, because the theme parks is such a structured thing. It's like, walk in, get your picture, do this pose, this pose, this pose next. Resorts are more free flowing. But yeah, I saw those pictures because you sent me a text. I'm like, you'll never believe this. And you could kind of tell the story from the picture, but now that you told that whole story, because I didn't know about the banging and all that stuff.
Just banging on the glass, and he started by drawing like hearts and giving me the finger symbols, and then he just asked like his handler, like, give me a pen and paper. I'm gonna start writing these down. So he just kept writing them all down and showing them to me, and everyone's giving a kick because we're like laughing in the lounge. The bartenders are asking us like, what's going on up there? Like, oh, Dale's just a card shark, man. He's just giving me he's just relaying all the info for me. It was so funny, man.
You should have dealt him in. You should have been like, come on down. We'll deal you in on the last hand. Come on. Let's play.
We will say we did our best to get some kind of cast compliment to that, because that was, I mean, I've had so many great character interactions. Like, I talked about that with you, like on the Discord, like from Star Wars weekends to so many great moments, and that's why I keep coming back, even like with my family. Like, I'm in my 40s now. Emily's a teenager. Like, we still like, those are some of our favorite memories is with the Disney characters, those interactions. And that right there is like, I'm going to be talking about that one for a long time. I'm telling coworkers of mine that story because you just don't have that happen. Like, where the characters like getting involved in your card game, trying to cheat. And it's all for fun. And that's what makes us go back. Right. I mean, it's just awesome.
People got to check out the picture. Did you put it in the Discord, or I know it's on your Instagram, right?
Because I think so. I can repost it again or try to find it. Yeah.
Because I mean, like the pictures. I mean, I know the one like of all you guys with your cards, like with Dale, is awesome. Yeah. But the picture that got me was the one where you took of him actually hanging over, like he's leaning over the glass, and like you can see him like in action. Like, I mean, he's the eye in the sky, like he's in Vegas or something. I mean, it tells the story in a shot. We got a call here, but. I mean,
I think I have video of it too. I'll have to look back because it was so funny.
It is. I mean, it's such a great, like, that's a story you'll have forever. And I mean, I'm sure
there's a question. There's a question about characters showing up to Monterey resorts, and they absolutely do. So this is kind of like the character bus. I think we've all may have seen that, or you show up to your lobby, you see the church bus with all the characters. I've seen this happen when we were at French Quarter over Marathon weekend too. We're passing through, getting our morning beignets, and like Goofy and Mickey, they're all in there just like in the lobby taking photos with everyone. You see it a lot, and it's just super cool because there's no time for it, right? You can't go in the app and find it like you can like in the parks for those character meet and greets. But it's so cool when you just happen upon it and you just see them like hanging out, like socializing with everyone. It's so cool. I think they do it at all the resorts, to be honest. I think they do it at the Values too.
Which I'm totally cool with it not being on a schedule. Like, it's fine to have a few things that are just surprise and delight, just like happen upon them. All right. I think it's going to be our last call of the night because we're about 5 minutes from the top of the hour, but hey, who's joining us?
Hey, Mike and Scotty G. It's Brandon up in New Hampshire. How are you guys?
Doing wonderful, Brandon. How's your week?
Coronado. Here's Brandon. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, well, there's my story, too, coming from Coronado Springs. We were there in 2021, and my wife and I, Pam, had come in from a minivan, and we just got back to Coronado, and it was probably 4:30 in the afternoon. Now, this was during social distancing, and we popped out of the minivan, and Mickey and Pluto were just getting out of that little van bus thing that you guys are talking about, and my wife was so excited. She jumped the hedge. She's over there ready to take a picture, and I tried to grab her arm. I'm like, no, social distancing. You got to stay away from the characters the whole time. The crew that didn't jump my wife, thank God, were really understanding about her excitement or something like that. These were the first characters we'd ever seen before, but she wanted to get over there in between them. She wanted to hug them. She wanted to be in that experience. That's not my jam, but it was hilarious, the interaction, and they stuck around for 5 minutes, taking probably 15 photos with us on the photo passes and stuff like that. I mean, it was fantastic. But watching my wife run toward them, and I said, no, you got to stay back, put your mask on, stuff like that. It was just hilarious to watch.
And I mean, that's what a Disney vacation is all about, though, right? I mean, because what do they sell in their commercials? It's about that character interaction. It's about having those small moments, and it's not about necessarily waiting in line. And because, I mean, we all have the character photo opportunities, right? Where you go to City Hall and you meet Mickey Mouse and you get your picture taken. But what the moment is, I think deep down that we really want is that moment at the resort. Where you actually happen upon a character and you get to spend more than 30 seconds just getting a picture. You get to have an interaction rather than a picture. I think there's a difference.
And it was amazing, Mike. I mean, these characters were fantastic. Their handlers were fantastic. They took all the time. We literally got there the same time they did. So there was nobody around. There was nobody walking around or coming up and standing in line to take pictures with them. And they spent so much time with Pam and I just taking pictures and, I guess you could say shooting the breeze, but they don't really talk. You know what I mean? Just that interaction was fantastic. The other one that I have is a really funny one was we did the one over by, oh God, what's it called? The Imagination Pavilion over by Figment there, the Disney Visa card one with Mickey and Goofy. And we went in there, and Goofy, I will tell you, this guy was absolutely amazing. I mean, he took so many pictures where he would make me take my hat off, turn it around backwards, took my sunglasses off, put his ear over the cover of my eyes and my face, because my wife was the show, apparently, and I was only supposed to be in the background. And that interaction, I mean, again, probably 10 minutes. It wasn't a 30-second picture, get in and get out. The interaction there was phenomenal. I mean, I can send you some pictures, Mike. This meet and greet was amazing.
And when they have the time to have the interactions, that's when it's great. Because, I mean, a photo opportunity is awesome, but an interaction is 100 times better. You make the memory.
We had something similar at Disneyland with the country bears. Were at Disneyland once during one of the race weekends. We were with our friend Georgia, Mike, you know him. Mm-hmm. And it was like what Brandon was talking about. Like, they didn't care about like a couple of us. They focused more on like the ladies. So like they kept like standing in front of me and David so that like we couldn't be in the shot. And like they turned us around, and then like it was so funny. I remember one like Big Al is just turned around, like it's just his backside in the photo. I mean, it is hilarious. And you're right, like both of you are right. When they have the time, it can be so magical. And I know it can be frustrating when you're waiting in the line. You just want your turn, right? It's a 95 degrees outside. You just want to see the character and get a photo, but I actually like watching other families have fun and interacting too. And I just hope I hope I get like the same amount.
Yeah, it's a double-edged. Yeah, it can be a double-edged sword, right? Because sometimes you're like, man, I just want to get up there and get my turn. If you're like 7th in line, but when it's you that's getting the extra attention, then it's awesome.
It's fun. So I just want them to try to be like a little more equal with everybody. And like sometimes I can tell by your body language. Sometimes people just want a photo and leave. And they can probably read that a little bit.
Yep.
But you guys are right. Like, I just love it when they spend a good 2 to 3 minutes with you. It's so much fun. It really is.
But I'm telling you, Scott, when they show up at a resort, and it's unexpected, it's not a scheduled event. You don't stand in line for it, and you just happen to see them walk in and out. We just had it happen at Animal Kingdom too this past December. Oh God, it was Safari Mickey and Safari Goofy, was it, that walked into Animal Kingdom Lodge while we just happened to be going out to go to the parks, and they just came in through the lobby. They did their thing for a few minutes, and we weren't, again, not standing in line. It's just we didn't even interact with them at that point, but to see the way that they walk up to the kids, especially, we don't have young kids, but to watch them interact with other families, to me, is fantastic. I'm not one to stand in line to interact with a character by any means, but if it's a short thing that's, like I said, like the Disney Visa card thing, or they show up at the resorts and they're just there randomly that you can't schedule or, schedule part of your trip around, that interaction to me is just fantastic. Just that little extra touch that Disney puts out there once in a while.
I agree. Well said.
Yep. So you always do the May trip. So you got a trip coming up, right?
Yeah, we're at Port Orleans French Quarter here, less than a month, May 4th.
Ooh,
Awesome.
The force is with you.
Dude, I have a lot of love for French Quarter right now. I really do.
Yeah, I think I'm going there too.
I go to Cascades Club on Friday, Saturday, Sunday night for that
really
live
looking
jazz.
forward to.
Yeah, I think we're booking that as well for our night before the cruise. We were trying to decide that today at lunch. It's between French Quarter or Old Key West because we have one night before our cruise because we want to take a boat to Disney Springs to see the drone show. But I think it's going to be French Quarter.
That drone show looks fascinating. 500 drones in the air. I mean, if you look at the Disneyland Paris drone show, I'm only hoping it's that or better.
We'll see. Yeah, I mean, I definitely want to check it out to see what it's about. But I mean, that'll be nice for us. 'Cause it's good. We got to be there the night before the cruise anyway. Like that's the rule, right? You got to be in Central Florida. So we're going to make it. We're going to get in that morning, spend the day chilling out at French Quarter, maybe swim, boat to Disney Springs, have dinner at the Springs, watch the drones, go back and have some beignets, maybe check out Scat Cat Club. Could go over and see.
If it's a weekend, It'll be
a Friday night.
That's still on my list to do because they had the live jazz music on Friday, Saturday.
Yeah, it'll be a Friday
Sunday
night.
Too.
Yeah,
perfect.
Yeah, so that's kind of the plan.
We also have the carriage ride booked for the week that we're there too, because that looks fascinating. My wife's from Louisiana, so we're doing the carriage ride thing there from Riverside.
Oh, I love those.
And I've seen the videos for it. I've done a lot of the tours and stuff like that, but that looks like something that she'd absolutely enjoy, like the cobblestone roads, the clip clop of the horse hooves and stuff like that.
For people that don't even do them, like I've never done it now. See, I should do that I should surprise we'll got too much. We'll probably have too much going on because you try to do too much like in 12.
Do it.
No, because I want to go to Disney Springs and do all that. That'd be because then we run out of time. But because the thing is, then you're trying to chase down 100 things and it's not all of a sudden it's not relaxing. But that's like at our wedding, Pam got brought in by a horse-drawn carriage, like to our wedding venue.
Amazing.
And yeah, it was cool with her dad, and so that'd be kind of cool. But what I was going to say
is relax on the cruise, Mike. You do this and you relax.
No, because dude, I want to go see the drones, and that'll keep me. I got to see the drones. I'm being selfish. So maybe during the day. I don't think they're out until like in the evening though, because I think like they wait till
they're mostly late afternoon or early evening.
They wait till people come back from
9:30, 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah, they bust them out like once people start coming back from the parks. Like I think, but the thing is, I was going to say though, is I think what's cool about those horse-drawn carriages is that even if you don't like partake in them, it gives so much ambiance to Riverside. Just hearing the horses clop around over at Riverside on that, it just clop, 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 clop. It makes the resort feel more authentic. I love staying there where the horses are walking around. It's so cool. It sounds great. So it'll be fun. You'll have a good time.
We're just looking forward to the quietness of Port Orleans French Quarter. I mean, we love Coronado Springs. That's where we're going in December. Mike, obviously you booked my trip, but we're testing different resorts as we go along, and we want to find our favorites. Coronado is one of ours. Pop Century is one of ours. It's just one of those things where we started at All-Star Movies, and we're just trying to figure out what's our favorites at this point. And I think they all are, to be honest with you.
Same. I mean, we bounce around. Like Coronado's probably my favorite right now, but I mean, French Quarter, it's beautiful. I mean, it's gorgeous. And the thing is, for every trip has a different kind of goal, right? In this trip, it's one night. We want to do something at the Springs. So you got the boat service to the Sassagoula down. I mean, we love riding on the Sassagoula. It's got beignets. It'll have live music. It'll have great rooms. I mean, it checks off all the boxes, and it's a gorgeous resort. I love French Quarter. It's going to work, and it's good value.
This May trip for us is our 25th anniversary of being together, and we're just looking forward to relaxing, more resort days. We're going to be there for 7 nights, 4 park days, and just taking it all in. We're going to go to boat rides. We're going to do the carriage rides. We're going to do behind the scenes, which we've done before as well. And then in December, we're going to do the first time for us is the Key to the Kingdom tour.
There you go. Scott just did that.
I just did it last week.
Cool.
How was it? It was great. I'm sure we'll probably talk about it on Trip Report here soon.
We are going to do one.
Yep. Nice. I would just say, like, as someone that like knows a lot of the stuff they talked about, I still found it great. You know what I mean? Like it was just so cool. As a Disney fan, you might hear like some repeat stuff that you just know because you research it, you'll love it. But even just hearing like the guy telling you that is awesome. And then the things you get to see, I mean, you just can't really do that unless if you're doing that tour. So well worth it, I thought, for sure.
Absolutely. Well, I'm the Disney nerd in our household, and my wife's the what she likes to call the passenger princess. whatever I book, she'll go along with, but that's exactly how she refers to it. She's the passenger princess. I'm the Disney nerd. Whatever I say goes, and we'll do it all.
That's a good way to describe it. All right, Brandon, we got to roll because we're at the top of the hour.
But hey, line here, but yeah, absolutely. Have a night. Good night, guys. It was really fantastic listening to you guys.
Great call. Okay, we'll talk to you next week. Hopefully, we'll talk to you soon, buddy. Thanks. All right,
take care.
Mike, just really quick, when we were talking about this, it got me thinking. I think some of my favorite character interaction really are at the resorts when they come off that bus. Like Brandon was just talking about it, people in the chat are doing it, and you'll appreciate this. Over marathon weekend, we're at French Quarter. And Liz and I go to the restroom. Emily is like, oh, I don't have to go or whatever. We're getting ready to go to the parks. We just finished breakfast. And I come out, Mike, and she's sitting like in this couch, like in this little nook kind of far away from the lobby action where all the characters are. And I see Goofy like sitting on the couch with Emily. And, like our daughters the same age, like they love the characters, but they're kind of over it a little bit. And she was just smiling. She got her phone out, was taking selfies with them and all this. And it was just like, the two of them were like on their own little island, and like she didn't know I was seeing it. You know what I mean? Like, and it just like, and as a dad, like it just made me so happy to see her like having that moment, not knowing that I didn't have to trigger it, or she just kind of did it on her own. Like it was super cool for me.
It takes you back in time. You know what? It's like my kid is still a kid here for 5 minutes.
Exactly. And and she didn't know that I knew. Like it was just kind of cool. And that was at the resorts. I'm telling you, like I think those resort interactions are some of the best. So that's my tip for everyone. Like, and I don't know, the times are so weird. We were just talking about, but that's kind of the beauty of it. You just kind of roll into it, and it's just a magical moment for sure.
It is, man. Tonight's been a great show. How much great information have we got out there, man? And it went quick. Holy,
it's quick, man. I'm ready to keep going another hour.
Seriously,
we got things we got to do, right?
We do got to wrap, but hey, we'll do this again next Sunday night. So put it on the calendar. We'll see you there after we survive this this week, because we got an eclipse coming at us. We have a registration coming at us for Marathon Weekend for all of us. We're going to make it through. So hang out with us on the Discord. It's the Be Our Guest Podcast Clubhouse. If you haven't made it over, I know a lot of you have, and thank you for hanging out with us. We have kind of the breakfast club. Some people come over early in the morning. I check it out as I'm on the treadmill bright and early. I can't post from the treadmill because I can't walk and type at the same time, but I read and I thumbs up stuff sometimes. I can hit the button there. But yeah, then we have kind of the late night owls, and we have people checking in over lunch hours and stuff. It's so much fun. So coming over to beourguestpodcast.com/Discord. We talk about everything. We even talked about like blizzards, because we don't just talk about like Disney. We talk mostly Disney, but we talk about life in the living room. We talk about my corner of the world. Trish was down, well, she still is, I think, still down in Costa Rica in Central America, posting pictures of all that. Well, I'm sure we'll have Eclipse pictures all week from where everybody's at. It's going to be fun. So coming over, it's the word is community. It's community. It's everybody getting to know each other. And here's the other thing I want to talk about real quick. We have the listener question shows on Wednesday, and we answer those questions to the best of our ability every Wednesday as quick as we can. And if you're there and you ask a question, we answer it quick. If you have a listener question, go to the Discord and post it. And I bet you'll get 17 answers to that question, probably in an hour. And you'll get all kinds of different opinions. Like if you want, we had a question, Scott, and you were really helping out with this one. Somebody wants to go to a great character breakfast on the Skyliner, and they were trying to decide between Cape May Cafe and Topolino's. I mean, we had a debate about these two restaurants that went back and forth all day. And I mean, there were so many opinions that I was like, oh, wow, I didn't think about that. Oh, wow, I didn't think about that. I've thought more about those two restaurants than I could have ever imagined. I mean, didn't you kind of think the same thing?
Yeah. No, yeah, it was good. I see lots of great conversation. I try to hop in there every day, and I'll like if you ever see like a Shaka symbol, like that's the one thing I don't like. You don't know like who likes something, that not that you necessarily need to, but if you ever see a Shaka symbol, that's most likely me liking your post for some. That's just like my identity in there. But yeah, like I love seeing the conversation. I love jumping in. A lot of people have a lot of great insight on things I'm not aware of. I've been going to Walt Disney World for almost 15 years, and I'm learning a lot even myself from there. So it's pretty awesome.
It is awesome. It's so easy to share pictures too and videos, and it's a really simple system to use. So come on over to Be Our Guest Podcast/Discord. All right. The show is brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel. We'd love to help you plan your next Disney adventure. It's over at themagicforless.com. Please use our Amazon affiliate link the next time you do that online shopping. It's beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. And thank you to our Patreon supporters. You guys make all of this possible at patreon.com/beourguestpodcast. When you support us, just $5 a month, you get a bonus show every week. It's called Mike in the Midwest. I put out this week's show actually earlier this afternoon, and it's about how excited I am for the popularity of women's sports. We got lots of attention this week with the women's Final Four. That was an amazing, 14 million people watched a women's basketball game earlier this week. And I bet you more watched
the World Series games. It's awesome.
It's amazing. For what it's doing for women's sports, it's incredible. And I can't wait to see the number that happened today for Iowa, South Carolina, because I guarantee you it was probably more than 15 million. It could have been 20.
And it was a 3:00 game on a Sunday.
Exactly. And I guarantee it's going to be wild when we see that number tomorrow. So come on over. You get these bonus shows. We talk about, and the other thing I talk about is how grateful I am for the participation, the community we're building again back over on the Discord channel. So come on over, get Mike in the Midwest, just $5 a month. And the money goes to support the podcast, the big show, this one. So coming over to patreon.com/BeOurGuestPodcast. Scott's on the social media at Epscott, EPSCOT. I'm at BeOurGuestMike on Twitter and Instagram and Threads. Would love a follow on all three. If you don't mind this week, that would be really appreciated. And we don't ask about this often, but these are super important. We'd really appreciate it. If you have 5 minutes this week in iTunes, it's actually not even iTunes, it's Apple Music, a 5-star review over there would be awesome. If you could do that this week, I'd really, really appreciate it. A 5-star review and a few nice words over at Apple Music this week. That'd be great. Thank you so much for that. All right, we'll have shows on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. We've got them lined up. Monday show, Scott, you'll like this one. It's an awesome cruise review of the Disney Wonder 7-night cruise to Alaska. We're heading to Alaska.
Yes, I'm very interested in that ship and that itinerary.
Dude, after I did this one, I was like, why am I not going on this one? So I was ready.
I got to get on all of them. Haven't been on the Wonder or the Magic. I got to get on those OGs.
I've sailed the Wonder twice, but never to Alaska. So I was ready to by the end of the show.
Now you're ready.
I said it during the show. I was like ready to book it. So it sounded amazing.
Let's do it.
That's Monday. Wednesday and Friday, we're going to have 2 great shows for you coming this week. So hang with us. We'll keep the shows coming to keep you entertained throughout the week. So thanks for hanging with us tonight. We'll see you next Sunday night for the live call-in show. For Scotty G up in Lansing, I'm Mike here in St. Louis. You guys have a great week. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you real soon.
You've been listening to the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. If you have questions, comments, or would like to be a guest on the show, please visit our website at beourguestpodcast.com. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you real soon.